They may have arrested Angie Nixon outside Governor Ron DeSantis' office, but they did not silence her. Just 3 months later, this community organizer and Florida state representative pulled off one of the biggest political upsets of 2026. Nixon defeated a nationally known candidate who had approximately 16 times more campaign money. Now, the woman who once stood outside the governor's office demanding to be heard is running for the United States Senate. This is the story of Angie Nixon and her journey from the bottom to the top. Long before Nixon became a Senate nominee, she was a working-class mother, union organizer, small business owner, and community activist from Jacksonville. She did not begin her career with millions of dollars, powerful political connections, or the support of Washington's biggest donors. She built her name by organizing inside Florida communities and speaking about wages, housing, healthcare, education, and the struggles facing ordinary families. In 2020, Nixon was elected to the Florida House of Representatives. But arriving in Tallahassee did not make her quiet, and it certainly did not make her afraid of confrontation. Nixon became one of the loudest Democratic voices, challenging Florida's Republican leadership. She protested Republican-backed congressional maps that weakened the voting power of Black communities. Inside the Florida Capitol, Nixon marched through the chamber and demanded that lawmakers pay attention to the people affected by their decisions. Some Republicans viewed her actions as disruptive. Her supporters viewed them as necessary. Either way, Angie Nixon made certain that she could not be ignored. In May 2026, Nixon took that fight directly outside Governor Ron DeSantis' office. She wanted to confront the administration over Florida's newly approved congressional map and the economic pressures facing Florida families. Nixon remained there for approximately 5 hours. When the Capitol closed, police ordered her and the remaining protesters to leave. Nixon refused. Capitol Police arrested her, and she was later charged with misdemeanor trespassing and resisting arrest. There is no confirmed evidence that Ron DeSantis personally ordered that arrest, but Nixon was arrested outside his office while protesting policies supported by his administration. For many politicians, an arrest would have ended the campaign. For Angie Nixon, it became another chapter in it. While fighting those charges, Nixon was also running for the Democratic nomination for the United States Senate. Her opponent was Alexander Vindman, a retired Army lieutenant colonel with national recognition from Donald Trump's first impeachment. Vindman had major financial backing and raised approximately $16 million. Nixon raised less than $1 million. On paper, the contest appeared completely unequal. Vindman had the money, the national attention, and the establishment advantage. Nixon had grassroots organizers, working-class supporters, and a message focused on people who believed the political system had forgotten them. On August 18th, the voters delivered their answer. Angie Nixon defeated Alexander Vindman by approximately 56% to 44%. She did not merely survive the primary, she won it decisively. Millions of dollars in advertisements could not overcome the connection Nixon had built with Democratic voters. The woman who had been arrested outside the governor's office was now Florida's Democratic nominee for the United States Senate. That was not simply a victory. That was an upset the political establishment never saw coming. Nixon will now face Republican Senator Ashley Moody in November. Moody previously served as Florida's Attorney General. Governor DeSantis appointed her to the Senate after Marco Rubio left the seat to become Secretary of State. This means Nixon is now challenging a senator personally selected by the same governor whose policies she protested. But we must keep this honest. Florida remains a difficult state for Democrats, and Nixon enters the general election as the underdog. Winning the Democratic primary does not guarantee victory in November. However, it guarantees that her voice, and the voters who placed their confidence in her, can no longer be dismissed. Angie Nixon's victory demonstrates something campaign money cannot always measure. A candidate can have fewer donors, fewer advertisements, and fewer powerful people making telephone calls on their behalf, and still win. Nixon started as an organizer fighting for working families. She entered the Florida House and challenged the people controlling the chamber. she protested outside the governor's office and was taken away by police. Then she returned to the voters and defeated an opponent who outspent her approximately 16-1. That is what a bottom-to-top political story looks like. Angie Nixon still has an uphill battle ahead of her. But whether people support her politics or oppose them, her journey sends a powerful message. Ordinary people can still shake the foundations of political power. November is coming. Momentum means nothing without turnout. Protect your vote, and vote, vote, vote. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts in the comments, and watch one of the videos appearing on your screen. Do you believe Angie Nixon can pull off another upset in November? Let me know in the comments.